Hello and welcome to episode 37 of the Your Way podcast. I'm going to keep it short and sweet today, guys, because I know that this time of year, time is of the essence. So, this podcast is really relevant for you if you notice that at this time of year, you eat more than usual, you drink more than usual, you overgive more than usual, like your patterns get dialed up. Now, it's very easy at Christmas time or like during the holidays to be like, well, but I'm eating more because like there's more food to go around, or I'm drinking more because there's more social events. And if that is really the only reason why you notice you're making different food choices, then this perhaps isn't that relevant for you. I'm speaking to you if you really go for it at this time of year. So it's not just like, oh, I go for a meal and people serve the different kind of food that I normally would have. So I'm therefore eating differently and in a way that I wouldn't normally choose. This is like if you're almost binge eating, binge drinking at this time of year, and you notice that you are doing this more than normal, invitation to pay attention to why, because it's super easy to just dismiss it and be like, yeah, but it's Christmas, or yeah, but it's New Year, or yeah, but it's just whatever. This is just what people do. Actually, it's not just what people do. A lot of the time, there is stuff that is going on underneath. And without dealing with the stuff going on underneath, what we actually do is try and soothe the stuff that we're not looking at with more food, with more drink. And so, my question for you to consider today is if I didn't eat more, eat to excess, binge eat, binge drink, overwork, whatever your flavor of overdoing it is, what are the feelings or the sensations, like the experience in your body, I would have to face that I'm currently masking with the extra food, extra drink? Now, you may intuitively know the answer to this question. You may have to find the answer to this question by actually giving yourself the challenge of, well, what happens if I don't give in to the urge to binge eat, binge drink, whatever, whatever? Okay. But the more that you can be a detective around your own patterns, particularly at this time of year, the more you can start to see, okay, this is the stuff I actually need to work on. Because a lot of the time you think, oh, I need to improve my relationship with food, or I need to improve my relationship with drink, or I need to improve my relationship with overworking. But whilst all of that on the surface might be true, if you cut down a layer off a few to, well, what is it that's driving these things, and then deal with that thing, you don't actually have to then look at the drinking or the eating or the overworking, because that stuff dissolves itself once the underlying pattern that you are trying to protect yourself from goes away. So I'm going to give an example, a personal example, to put this in context. So I have recognized, even in a kind of slim, healthy body, that I have this tendency to eat more in the evenings and snack in the evenings. And I got really curious about this a few months ago. I was like, what is all of this about? Because it's not hunger. Like there's something else driving this snacking in the evenings. And when I got really curious on it, I recognized that growing up, the evenings were either very lonely for me because my sisters had gone to bed, my mum and dad were watching TV in a different room, and I was on my own. And I also would have felt like emotionally on my own generally. Um, or evenings maybe were a little bit more chaotic or emotional because there'd been a row or an argument, or like there was just stuff going on, right? Now, I didn't have the tools or the resources that I needed to be with those big emotions that went alongside all of that stuff. And so the way I soothed myself was through food and excess food. And so it's like there is this pattern of behavior in me that in order to get through the evenings, I soothe myself in the evenings by eating. Even when my evenings are peaceful and joyful and calm and all the rest of it, it's like there is still a something that is triggering something in me that makes me want to eat in the evening. And then when I became willing to look at that and work through it, I could then see actually when I don't eat in the evenings, I'm met with the pain of the sadness and the loneliness and the chaos and all of those things that I didn't have the capacity to feel when I was little, but I now do have the capacity to feel them. So then when I feel those things as an adult, I no longer need the food to soothe myself because I no longer have to fear the feelings, and also the feelings aren't there because I felt the feelings. So I hope that that example helps you to really think about for yourself what actually sits beneath the behaviors that might expand a little bit around this time of year, because this time of year holds a lot for people. There's a lot of memories, there's a lot of past experiences, there's a lot of expectations, there's just a lot. And it's very, very natural for us to want to soothe ourselves around that. But if you don't like the way that you are soothing yourself and you would like to do it differently, the key is to get curious. So I hope that that is super helpful. If there is anything that you would like support on the next few weeks, I'm actually running 2 free group coaching sessions on Monday, the 16th of December. So one is 8 a.m. UK time, which kind of isn't too late for those of you in Australia and New Zealand. And then the other one is 1:45 p.m. UK time. So those of you in the UK that can take a slightly later lunch break, doesn't interfere with the school run, and that kind of thing, hopefully works for you. Isn't offensive for those of you on the east coast of the US. Pacific coast, it's a bit early for you, but if you're early risers, then crack on. It would be lovely to see you. So information for that will be in the show notes. 2 hours free group coaching, no selling, just giving you what you need in the run up to Christmas. If you can make both sessions, feel free to sign up for both sessions. You'll find the information in the link below. And I wish you well. Stay curious, because it will take you the places that are actually going to make the changes in your life that you desire. See you next time.
Before you go, I so hope that you enjoyed today's episode. And if you did, I'd like to ask you a favor, please, because the way that this podcast grows and the way that more people get to benefit from these materials is that more people find it. And that means that subscribes and likes and shares are so, so important to this space. So, my ask of you, if you got value from the podcast today, is give it a review, give it a like, share it with a friend, and make sure that you are subscribed. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you being here. And I look forward to continuing to support you to do life, business, relationships, and all of it your way.